Absolutely wonderful stuff. That's Courtney Marie Andrews live in session with Everyone Wants to Feel Like You Do. There are 3 more tunes on the way. And Courtney, once you're ready to do so, do you want which microphone would you like to approach? So have a chat with us. That's okay. Come on. Courtney's going to be on yellow. There we go. How are you doing? Good to have you here.
Great to be here.
Would you mind introducing the rest of the band for us, please?
Yes, of course. I'll go in order of the way I see them. On drums, we have Mr. Matt Carroll.
Hey, Matt.
On bass, we have Taylor Zachary. And on guitar, piano, other stuff, we have Jerry Bernhardt.
And thanks to all 4 of you for joining us. I think it was Taylor who had it feels like the hairiest journey to get here in time, but here he is. No
Here
problem
he
at all.
is.
And he's the hairiest man in the room.
Well, that's true, yeah.
So there you go.
But
also,
the scariest journey, yeah.
I tell you, Courtney, I mean, you just narrowly avoided the worst night of your life, because when it looked like Taylor might not turn up, there was talk of me taking to the bass.
That would have been wonderful.
If you've ever heard me play bass, you would have gone home immediately. So thanks. Good work, mate. Thanks for coming.
No problem.
And you're all here ahead of a good stretch of shows in various places. How are you feeling ahead of touring Valentine, this record?
I'm feeling great. It's my first band tour in about 2 years, so it feels very great to be back on the road with the band.
You're going to be playing the Broodnell in Leeds and Gorilla here in Manchester, St Luke's in Glasgow. Are some of those venues familiar to you?
Yes, Broodnell is one of a classic venue we love to play. So
this arrives from Tomo in Leith, who says, I first saw Courtney Marie Andrews a few years back on the Isle of Egg, and she was incredible. And it's funny what random details you remember from live shows. In this case, it was Courtney telling the audience that this was the first gig she'd ever played where the taxi driver had passed her a hip flask.
Yes.
On the way to the show. Was it full of some local produce? Some whiskey?
He was the only taxi driver on Egg.
I was going to say, I mean,
I had no other option.
presumably, was it one of the Lost Map? Was it Pictish Johnny's festival that you went to?
It was.
Ah,
yes.
there we go.
Yeah.
Right.
What
okay.
a lovely place. Yeah.
The new record is called Valentine, and it demands to be listened to. And I know everybody will want to say this about a record you made in sequence from beginning to end. It has this arc about it, this story about it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does. It was intentional.
Yeah.
we fought a lot over the sequencing, but we got there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. But what would you describe the arc as? Because it starts off. There's louder bits in there, and there's possible trauma in there as well, and then it comes to childhood toward the end as well.
Yeah, definitely. It is a journey, it's sort of like you slowly recognize your pain, and by side B, you're like, oh, that's why this feels this way.
I like how a song like Little Picture of a Butterfly is on paper quite simple, but then becomes less so when you worked on it in the studio.
Yeah, because it's quite traditional, I guess, in its form, it was fun to sort of experiment. Jerry and I just had so much fun, like, how can we make this not traditional, and so to speak. So, yeah, we had so much fun exploring all the sounds.
But it's not to say that you had sort of booked into a studio for weeks and weeks and weeks on a residential. You did it quite quickly as well.
Yeah. In a mere 10 days, which
that's a song a day.
If we had a full band, it would have maybe been a different story. But Jerry and I were running in and out of Studio A, just him and I. So it was quite chaotic.
Yeah, and live vocal as well. Was
yeah,
it good doing it that way? You like doing it that way?
I do like doing it that way. Yeah, I think it's good to not. The more human you can be these days, I think, is the better.
So, I mean, you write these wonderful songs, you write poetry, and you paint. At which point do you, when you're writing, when do you decide whether it's going to be a lyric or a poem? And do you think there's a massive difference between the two?
Oh.
I feel like they're different voices or something. I always say that poetry is sort of this, like, bird's eye view, sort of philosophical, kind of looking above everything type voice, and songs for me have always come from this place that's like a quiet conversation. And it's hard to say, like, why one feels one way or the other, but it's just like this intuitive feeling you have, like this is definitely meant to be a poem or a song.
It has to be that, really, doesn't it? Because in the end analysis, they are words, and so if you were to take one of your poems and set it to music, what would that be?
I don't know. I should try it sometime.
Yeah, it's just a strange, because I had this conversation with somebody, I'll tell you later, but they at that point in time were very, very defiant that, poetry and lyrics were completely different. And I was reciting lyrics to him that I thought were poetic.
He's now the poet laureate, the bloke you're talking about. Simon Armitage, wasn't it? The
It
conversation you had. So, yeah, he knows about poetry.
I think people in their respective fields would say they like to keep them separate.
Yeah.
That they're different.
Like you, Simon, writes songs and also, obviously, poet laureate. I think he writes the odd poem as well.
I hope so, or else he'll be in trouble.
Get on with it, Simon.
He's a John Cage.
Yeah.
Silent poems.
Of poetry.
Now, you're going to play 3 numbers for us in a row. Are you all set to do that? Yeah.
We're set.
Brilliant.
We're ready to roll.
Okay, we're ready for them as well. These are all taken from the latest LP. What's the first going to be?
This is a song called Hangman.
Okay.